On June 4, the Ukrainian counteroffensive continues behind the front line on the entire front line. Russian troops continue to suffer heavy losses in the face of the Ukrainian army's shocking counteroffensive. It is possible that the success of the Ukrainian troops during the counteroffensive will lead to many developments in the coming days. Looking at the front line, the most notable developments are taking place along the Zaporizhia front line. The success of the Ukrainian troops' pressure on the front line is largely determined by the attacks behind the front line. So what are the latest developments? Let's take a look together. In order to not to miss the Pioneer's daily map analysis and reports on the agenda, you can subscribe to our channel and turn on notifications. You can also like our videos so that the work can continue and reach more people. Thank you for your support. The Pioneer reports. On the map, you can see Zaporizhia front line. We see that Ukrainian troops are continuing their operations along the line of about 150 kilometers. The Ukrainian army has made some big gains here in recent days. Let's take a look at the gains of the Ukrainian troops. Here you see Pityakhatsky, one of the first points liberated by the Ukrainian army. So what advantage did the Ukrainian army gain by capturing Pityakhatsky? As you can see on the map, Pityakhatsky is located very close to Vasilivka, the easternmost point of Zaporizhia front line. It is about 16 kilometers away. Assuming that the Ukrainian troops advance here will be on the southern route, we can see that the front line will be cut in half. This would cut Vasilivka off from the western part of the Zaporizhia front line. This will give the Ukrainian army a great advantage in the operation to liberate Vasilivka. When we look at the location of Vasilivka, we see that it is located in the northernmost part of the Dnieper River. We estimate that the dominance of the Ukrainian army in the region could be very useful in terms of controlling the river. Another region liberated by the Ukrainian troops on the Zaporizhia front line is the region shown in blue, the north of Robotyne, as you can see on the map. As you know, Ukrainian troops' operations here continues unabated. According to the latest reports, fighting in the north of Robotyne has accelerated. If Ukrainian troops capture Robotyne, it will mean crossing a psychological threshold. The liberation of Bryansk, one of the main goals of the Ukrainian troops, will become easier with the capture of the region. If we look at what happened here in recent days, we see that the Ukrainian army is targeting behind the front line. Now let's look at Melitopol. As you can see on the map, Melitopol is about 80 kilometers from Zaporizhia front line. Now let's analyze the latest reports from the region. The city of Melitopol has been shaken by numerous explosions in recent days. According to local sources, the explosions were caused by Storm Shadow missiles fired by Ukrainian artillery. Numerous explosions are reported throughout the city. According to local sources, most of the explosions in the region took place on ammunition depots and supply lines used by the Russian army. However, the Russian military has yet to make these statements on the matter. Let's take a look at the Donetsk front line. At this point, the most striking area where the fighting has intensified is Avdiivka. As you know, there are many Ukrainian troops in the area. The deployment of the Russian troops, especially on the Bakhmut line, has largely broken the Russian resistance in the area. But the latest developments is not connected with the front line. Let's now look at Yasinovata, located east of Avdiivka. In recent days, Ukrainian artillery has been hitting the area with a quite successful shelling. According to the reports from local sources, among the targeted points is a railway station. According to these reports, there were Russian troops waiting at the train station to be transferred to the front line. After the area was hit, a large fire broke out at the train station. Russian sources refrained from making any statement about this fire and explosion. Now let's move a little bit closer to the Bakhmut line. As you know, in recent days, the Ukrainian army's counteroffensive activities has been concentrated in and around Bakhmut. As you can see, Kordomoivka, which is located south of Bakhmut. According to the latest reports, Ukrainian troops are pursuing a gradual offensive strategy in the area. According to local sources, fierce fighting is taking place in the eastern borders of Kordomoivka. It is almost certain that the region will fall under Ukrainian control in coming days. In Bakhmut, quite extraordinary developments are taking place. In Klishchivka, one of the important milestones of Bakhmut siege, there was a remarkable development. Ukrainian troops in the region captured an entire Russian battalion. According to the group known as the Bakhmut Demons, a Russian Air Force paratrooper group near Klishchivka surrendered to the Ukrainian troop. It is reported that there are personnel from the battalion who have not surrendered. However, these soldiers are also expected to surrender in coming period. Developments in Klishchivka region seems to be quite significant. According to the latest statements of the Ukrainian troops, it is only a matter of time before Klishchivka is under Ukrainian control. Ukrainian troops who continue to clear the trenches in the area where the parachute group has been taken over state that they will continue to advance in Klishchivka after the area dominance is ensured. Now let's take a look at the Kherson region. As you know, the offensive units of the Ukrainian army had moved to the eastern side of the Antonivsky Bridge. Ukrainian troops who are trying to consolidate territorial control in the region cannot be repelled by Russian troops. Russian troops are launching MLRS attacks to repel Ukrainian troops who manage to hold onto the area. However, there is no evidence that the Ukrainian troops have suffered heavy damage so far. The defensive fortification established by the Ukrainian army in the region seems to be quite solid. There are also numerous reports that the Ukrainian troops continue to advance around Oleshki and the surrounding Delta islets, which we discussed in our previous reports. According to the latest reports from the Russian sources, Ukrainian troops are conducting reconnaissance activities on the Delta islets, especially at night. According to the latest reports, Russian troops have almost lost control over the Delta islets. Ukraine's full control of the region means the opening of the road to the Crimean Peninsula. Moreover, judging by the increased activity in Crimea in recent days, it would be possible to say that the Ukrainian army is in preparation for the region. The decisive point here is the success of the Ukrainian army on the Kherson front line. What do you think? Do you think the counteroffensive launched by the Ukrainian army continues successfully? How do you assess the Ukrainian advance on Zaporizhia front line? Will the Ukrainian army be able to reach the city of Melitopol? What is your opinion on the latest developments on the Bakhmut front line? Do you think that the Ukrainian army's operations in eastern Kherson will affect the situation on the Crimean Peninsula? We value your opinion. Please share them with us.